Section 2. TOLEDOTH. Vi. 9. These are the genealogies of the race of Noah. Noah was a just man, complete in good works in his generation, and in the fear of the Lord walked Noah. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Cam, and Japheth. And the earth was corrupted through the inhabitants thereof, who had declined from the ways of righteousness before the Lord, and the earth was filled with rapine. Jerusalem. And the earth was filled with violences and frauds, and the Lord beheld the earth, and lo, it was corrupt, for all flesh had every one corrupted his way upon the earth. And the Lord said to Noah, The end of all flesh cometh before me, because the earth is filled with rapine by their evil works, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of the wood of cedars, 150 cells shalt thou make to the ark in its left side, and 36 in its breadth, and 10 cabins in the midst, to lay up in them provision, and 5 repositories on the right, and 5 on the left, and thou shalt protect it within and without a pitch. Go thou unto Thisson, and take from thence a precious stone, and fix it in the ark to illuminate you. With the measure of a cubit or span shalt thou complete it above. And a door shalt thou set in the side of the ark, and with dwelling places inferior, 2nd and 3rd, shalt thou make it. And behold, I bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to swallow up all flesh which hath in it the spirit of life from under the heavens. Whatever is upon the earth shall be swept away. But I will establish my covenant with thee, and thou shalt go into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and the wives of thy sons with thee. And of all that liveth of all flesh, 2 of every kind shall go into the ark, to be preserved alive with thee. Male and female shall they be. Of the fowl after its kind, and of all cattle after its kind, and of every reptile of the earth after its kind, 2 of every sort shall enter to thee by the hand of the angel, who will take and cause them to enter to thee, to be preserved. And thou take to thee of all food that is eaten, and let it be to thee unto them for food. And Noah did according to all that the Lord had instructed him. 7. And the Lord said to Noah, Enter thou and every one of thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of all clean cattle take thou 7 by 7, male and female, and of all cattle not clean 2 and 2, male and female. But of birds of the heaven 7 by 7, male and female, to preserve from them seed upon the earth. 4. Behold, I give you space of 7 days, if they will be converted. It shall be forgiven them, but if they will not be converted, after a time of days yet 7, I will cause rain to come down upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and will destroy all bodies of man and of beast upon the earth. And Noah did according to all that the Lord had commanded him. And Noah was the son of 600 years when the deluge of waters was upon the earth. And Noah entered with his sons and his wife and the wives of his sons with him into the ark from before the waters of the deluge. Of all cattle clean, and of cattle unclean, of birds, and of whatever creepeth upon the earth, 2 and 2 they entered unto Noah into the ark, male and female, as the Lord had instructed Noah. And it was at the time of 7 days after the conclusion of the mourning for Methuselah that the Lord beheld, and lo, the sons of men had not turned. And the waters of the deluge came down hotly from the heavens upon the earth, in the 600th year of the life of Noah, in the 2nd month, which was the month of Marshesvan. For hitherto the months had been numbered from Tishrei, which was the beginning of the year at the completion of the world. In the 17th day of the month, in the red day, were all the fountains of the great deep broken up. And the giants were gathered there together with the sons, and perturbed them, and afterwards the windows of heaven were opened. Jerusalem. And the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain came down upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the same day entered Noah and Shem and Cam and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and the wife of Noah, and the 3 wives of his sons with him, into the ark. They and every animal after his kind, and all cattle after their kind, and every reptile that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after its kind, every bird which flieth. And they entered to Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, in which was the breath of life. And they coming entered, male and female of all flesh, unto him, as the Lord had instructed him. And the word of the Lord covered over the door of the ark upon the face thereof, Jerusalem. And the word of the Lord was merciful upon him. And there was a flood 40 days upon the earth, and the waters were multiplied, and bare up the ark, and it was lifted from the earth. And the waters waxed mighty and increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went floating upon the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed greatly upon the earth, and all the high hills which were under the heavens were covered. 15 cubits higher did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh expired which moveth upon the earth, of fowl, and of cattle, and of wild beasts, and every moving thing that moveth upon the earth, and all the sons of men, everything in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all on the dry land, died. And all the bodies of men and of beasts upon the face of the earth, from man to cattle to creeping thing, and to the fowl which wingeth in the air of heaven, perished from the earth. And Noah only was left, and they who were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. 8. And the Lord in his word remembered Noah, and all the animals and the cattle which were with him in the ark. And the Lord caused the wind of mercies to pass over the earth, and the waters were dried. Jerusalem. And he remembered in his mercies the good which was with Noah. And the Lord caused the wind of mercies, and the fountains of the deep were shut up, and the windows of heaven, and the rain was forbidden to descend from heaven. And the waters returned from being on the earth, going and returning. And the waters were diminished at the end of 150 days. And the ark rested in the 7th month, which is the month of Nisan, in the 17th day of the month. Upon the mountains of Cadron. The name of the one mountain is Cadania, and the name of the other mountain Armenia. And there was builded the city of Armenia in the land of the east. And the waters went and diminished until the 10th month, the month Tammuz. In Tammuz, in the first of the month, the heads of the mountains were seen. And it was at the end of 40 days, and Noah opened the aperture of the ark which he had made. And he sent out a raven, and it went forth, going forth and returning, until the waters had dried from the earth. And he sent forth a house dove from being with him, to see whether the waters were lightened from off the faces of the earth. And the dove found no rest for the sole of the foot, and returned unto him to the ark, and he knew that the waters were yet upon the face of all the earth. And he reached out his hand, and took and brought her unto him into the ark. And he waited yet 7 days, Jerusalem. And he began to number, and again he sent the dove from the ark. And the dove came to him at the evening time, and behold, a leaf of olive gathered, broken off, she brought in her mouth, and which she had taken from the mount of the Meshillah. And Noah understood that the waters had lightened from being on the earth. And he prolonged yet 7 days, and added to send forth the dove, but she added not to return to him again. And it was in the 601st year, in Tishri, in the first of the month, in the beginning of the year, that the waters were dried from upon the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and saw the faces of the ground to be dried. And in the month Marshesvan, in the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. And the Lord spake with Noah, saying, Go forth from the ark, thou, and thy wife, and thy sons, and the wives of thy sons, with thee. Every living animal that is with thee of all flesh, of fowl, of cattle, and of every reptile that creepeth on the earth, bring forth with thee, that they may produce in the earth, and spread abroad, and multiply on the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and the wives of his sons, with him. Every animal, every reptile, and every bird, which moveth upon the earth, according to its seed, went forth from the ark. And Noah builded the altar before the Lord, that altar which Adam had builded in the time when he was cast forth from the Garden of Eden, and had offered an oblation upon it, and upon it had Cain and Abel offered their oblations. But when the waters of the deluge ascended, it was destroyed, and Noah rebuilded it, and he took of all clean cattle, and of all clean fowl, and sacrificed upon the red altar. And the Lord accepted his oblation with favor. And the Lord said in his word, I will not add again to curse the earth on account of the sin of the children of men, for the imagination of the heart of man is evil from his youth, neither will I add to destroy whatever liveth as I have done, until all the days of the earth. Sowing in the season of Tishri. and harvest in the season of Nisan, and coldness in the season of Tebeth, and warmth in the season of Tammuz, and summer and winter, and days and nights shall not fail. Jerusalem, until all the days of the earth from now, sowing and reaping, and cold and heat, and days and nights shall not cease. IX. And the Lord blessed Noah and his sons, and said to them, Spread forth and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and on every fowl of the heavens, of all that the earth swarmeth forth, and all the fishes of the sea into your hand they delivered. Every moving thing which liveth to you shall be for food. Is the green herb have I given to you the whole? But flesh which is torn of the living beast, what time the life is in it, or the torn from a slaughtered animal before all the breath has gone forth, you shall not eat. But the blood of your lives I require of every animal which hath killed a man, I will require that it be put to death on his account. And from the hand of the human being, for the hand of the man who hath shed the blood of his brother, will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth the blood of man, the judges, by witnesses, shall condemn him unto death, but he who sheddeth it without witnesses, the Lord of the world will bring punishment on him in the day of the great judgment, because in the image of the Lord he made man. And you spread yourselves abroad and multiply, bring forth in the earth, and increase in it. And the Lord spake to Noah, and to his sons with him, saying, Behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your children after you, and with every living soul that is with you, of birds, and of cattle, and of every beast of the earth that is with you, of all that go forth from the ark, of every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, and will not again cause all flesh to perish by the waters of a flood, and there shall not again be a flood to destroy the earth. And the Lord said, This is the sign of the covenant which I establish between my word and between you and every living soul that is with you, until the generations of the world. I have set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of the covenant between my word and the earth. And it shall be that when I spread forth my glorious cloud over the earth, the bow shall be seen in the day time, while the sun is not sunk or hidden in a cloud. And I will remember my covenant which is between my word and between you and every living soul of all flesh, that there shall not be the waters of a flood to destroy all flesh. And a bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, to remember the everlasting covenant between the word of the Lord and every living soul of all flesh that is upon the earth. And the Lord said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant that I have covenanted between my word and between the word for all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah who went forth from the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and from them they were spread abroad to dwell in all the earth. And Noah began to be a man working in the earth. Jerusalem. And Noah began to be a righteous man. And he planted a vineyard. And he found a vine which the river had brought away from the Garden of Eden, and he planted it in a vineyard, and it flourished in a day, and its grapes became ripe, and he pressed them out. And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he made himself naked in the midst of his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, beheld the nakedness of his father, and showed to his brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a mantle, and bare it upon the shoulders of each, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of the father, and the faces were turned back, and the nakedness of the father they did not behold. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew by the relation of a dream what had been done to him by Ham his son, who was inferior in worth, on the account that he had not begotten a 4th son. And he said, Accursed is Canaan, who is his 4th son, a serving servant shall he be to his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, whose work is righteous, and therefore shall Canaan be servant unto him. The Lord shall beautify the borders of Japheth, and his sons shall be proselyted and dwell in the schools of Shem, and Canaan shall be a servant to them. And Noah lived after the deluge 350 years. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. X. These are the generations of the sons of Noah, and of the sons who were born to them after the deluge. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, Amadai, and Javan, and Thabal, and Meshech, and Theris. And the names of the provinces, Africa, and Germania, and Media, and Macedonia, and Bithynia, and Asia, and Thaki. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, Elas, and Tarsis, Acacia, and Dordonia. Jerusalem. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and the name of the provinces, Africa, and Garmania, and Madai, and Macedonia, and Yatania, and Asia, and Thaki. And the sons of Gomer, and the name of the provinces, Asia, and Pharkui, Phrygia, and Barbaria. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and the name of the provinces, Alastarisom, Italia, and Dordonia. For these were distributed the tribes of the islands of the Gentiles, every one according to his language, to his kindred in the nations. And the sons of Cam, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the name of the provinces, Arabia, and Mizraim, and Alectroch, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabteca, and the name of the provinces, Sinai, and Hindiki, and Samadi, and Lubai, and Zingai. And the sons of Marishinos, Zedmagad, and Mezag. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be mighty in sin, and to rebel before the Lord in the earth. He was a mighty rebel before the Lord. Therefore it is said, from the day that the world was created there hath not been as Nimrod, mighty in hunting, and a rebel before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel the great, and Hades, and Netzibon, and Chetispon, in the land of Pontos. For that land went forth Nimrod, and reigned in Atha, because he would not be in the council of a divided generation. And he left those 4 cities, and the Lord thereupon gave him a place, and he builded 4 other cities, Nineveh, and Pelasha, Kartha, and Parioth. And Talisar, which was builded between Nineveh and Hadath, that is a great city. And Mizraim begat the Nivati, and the Mariati, and the Livaki, and the Pantasini, and the Pathrosim, and the Nasiatara, and the Pantipoliti, from whom went forth the Philistei and the Caphodicae. Jerusalem. 9. He was mighty in hunting and in sin before the Lord, for he was a hunter of the sons of men in the languages. And he said to them, Leave the judgments of Shem, and adhere to the judgments of Nimrod. On this account it is said, As Nimrod the mighty, mighty in hunting and in sin before the Lord. 10. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Hades, and Netzibon, and Catispa in the land of Babel. 11. For that land he went out towards Atha, and builded Nineveh, and Pelashath Kartha, and Hadath, and Talisar between Nineveh and Hadath, which is a great city. 13. And Mizraim begat the Mariatara, and Pantapolitara, and Lusarai, and Pelasai, and the Pantaskani, from whom went forth the Philistei and Cappadocia. And Canaan begat Zidon his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusai, and the Amorai, and the Girchi, and the Hivarai, and the Urkai, and the Antozari, and the Lutasai, and the Chomtsai, and the Antikoa, and after then the seed of the Canaan were scattered. Jerusalem. 17. And the Tripolara, and the Archai, and the Kaphrusai, and the Antridni, and the Chamatsai, and the Antukea, from Babel. After then were distinguished the islands of the peoples. And the limit of the Canaan was from Catanis, going up to Jerah, and to Azar, and to Sedom, and Amorah, Admah, and Zeboim, and to Chaldee. These are the sons of Cam, according to the seed of their genealogies, after their languages, in the dwelling of the lands, in the kindred of the people. And to Shem also was born a son. He is the father of all the sons of the Hebrews, the brother of Japheth, great in the fear of the Lord. The sons of Shem, Elam, and Atha, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. Arphaxad begat Shalak, and Shalak begat Eber. And to Eber were born 2 sons. The name of the one was Peleg, because in his days the earth was divided, and the name of the other Joktan. And Joktan begat Elmodad, who measured, or lined, the earth with lines, and Shalef, who led forth the waters of rivers, and Chatzemaveth, and Jerach, and Haradam, and Uzziel, and Dikla, and Ophel, and Avamile, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havlah, and Jobab. All these are the sons of Joktan. And the house of their dwelling was from Mesha, by which thou goest up to Sephavi, a mountain at the east. These are the sons of Shem, according to the houses, in the dwelling of the lands, according to the kindred of the people. These are the houses of the sons of Noah according to the houses in the peoples, and from them are the peoples distinguished in the earth after the deluge. She, and all the earth was of one language, and one speech, and one counsel. In the holy language spake they that by which the world had been created at the beginning. And it was while they were journeying from the east that they found a plain in the land of Babel, and dwelt there. Jerusalem, and all the inhabitants of the earth were of one language, and of one speech, and one counsel. For they spake the holy language by which the world was created at the beginning. While the hearts erred afterwards from the word of him who spake, and the world was at the beginning, and they found a plain in the land of Pontus, and dwelt there. And they said, a man to his fellow, Come, we will cast bricks, and put them in the furnace. And they had brick for stone, and slime for cement. And they said, Come, we will build a city and a tower, and the head of it shall come to the summit of the heavens, and we will make us an image for worship on the top of it, and put a sword in his hand to act against the array of war, before that we be scattered on the face of the earth. And the Lord was revealed to punish them for the work of the city and the tower which the sons of men builded, Jerusalem. And they said, Come now, and we will build a city and a tower, and the head of it shall reach to the summit of the heavens. And we will make us in it a house of worship at the top. And we will put a sword in his hand, lest there be set against him the array of war, before we be scattered upon the face of all the earth. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and the language of all of them one. And this they have thought to do. And now they will not be restrained from doing whatever they imagine. And the Lord said to the 70 angels which stand before him, Come, we will descend, and will there commingle the language, that a man shall not understand the speech of his neighbor. And the word of the Lord was revealed against the city, and with him 70 angels, having reference to 70 nations, each having its own language, and thence the writing of its own hand. And he dispersed them from thence upon the face of all the earth into 70 languages. And one knew not what his neighbor would say. But one slew the other, and they ceased from building the city. Therefore he called the name of it Babel, because there did the Lord commingle the speech of all the inhabitants of the earth, and from thence did the Lord disperse them upon the faces of all the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was a son of 100 years, and he begat Arphaxad 2 years after the deluge. And Shem lived after he had begotten Arphaxad 500 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 years, and begat Shelach. And Arphaxad lived after he had begotten Shelach 430 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Shelach lived 30 years, and begat Eber. And Shelach lived after he had begotten Eber 403 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years, and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he had begotten Peleg 430 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years, and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he had begotten Reu 209 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years, and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he had begotten Serug 207 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years, and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he had begotten Nahor 200 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years, and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he had begotten Terah 116 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years, and begat Abram and Nahor and Haran. These are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. And it was when Nimrod had cast Abram into the furnace of fire because he would not worship his idol, and the fire had no power to burn him, that Haran's heart became doubtful, saying, If Nimrod overcome, I will be on his side. But if Abram overcome, I will be on his side. And when all the people who were there saw that the fire had no power over Abram, they said in their hearts, Is not Haran the brother of Abram full of divinations and charms, and has he not uttered spells over the fire that it should not burn his brother? Immediately, Minyad, out of hand, There fell fire from the high heavens and consumed him, and Haran died in the sight of Terah his father, where he was burned in the land of his nativity, in the furnace of fire which the Chaldee had made for Abram his brother. And Abram and Nahor took to them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of the wife of Nahor, Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah, who is Sarah. And Sarah was barren, she had no child. Jerusalem. And Sarah was barren, she had no son. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot bar Haran the son of his son, and his daughter-in-law Sarah the wife of Abram his son, and went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldee to go to the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran, and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years. And Terah died in Haran.